Here we go. We are recording. Do you want... You did it last time, I think.
Most
no,
times.
we both did it. It was the duel, D-U-A-L, which I think you heard D-U-E-L. And you said, how do we do a duel? Like you were annoyed with me for saying that. Remember that? It's on the last intro of the last episode. I left it in.
I never listened to him, really, for the most part.
All right, that's fair. All right, I'm gonna bring us in real quick, okay? Josh, it's been a while, but we're back. It's the Terribly Vexed Podcast.
Hey, that was really good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You should be doing those more often. You're good.
That was just right off the cuff. No planning whatsoever. Just bim, bam, boom.
First take.
Yep. Josh, how the hell have you been? I'll cut all that out.
No. Leave it in.
Okay.
Leave all this in.
All right. It'll stay.
Oh, super. You?
Been great, especially after this election. My man won. You know, I'm a Trumper from way back.
Yeah.
How do you feel about all that? The division that he's brought upon.
It's amazing.
Isn't it?
It's amazing to watch.
It's incredible, and I find it very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, I said I was a Trumper from way back. I'm not really, but I do appreciate all the chaos that he's bringing upon.
It's too late. People are going to think.
Social media and everything.
They're going to think that you're a Trumper.
That's fine. I don't care.
And by
I just lip
association.
smacked. I'm sorry.
And by association, I'm going to be going down with you. They're going to think
that seems to be how it goes.
I voted for Trump.
Yeah. Did you?
I don't vote.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured.
You don't vote.
No, except for that one time I was forced to. We talked about that on one episode. Which I think is illegal, but I was forced to vote for a candidate that I didn't really care for. I don't care for any of them, though, to be honest.
Yeah, and really, I was thinking, because we were going to try and do this little episode, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Just prior
2 months ago, 3 months ago.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
No, just prior to the election night.
Yeah.
And some technical issues.
Yeah.
But that would have been sort of like an anniversary for us because we met on an election party.
That's true.
2004.
2020
years.
20 years ago.
20 years.
We first met. Who was it? Bush Carey.
Yeah. Jason's election party.
We had that life-size cutout of George Bush with the dildo attached to it where it would be
Pictures.
Anatomically.
Yeah.
There is a picture of me with it in my mouth on George Bush.
Yeah, that's where...
I was just goofing. Just some drinking involved.
Just goofing.
Yeah. You know,
that's
good-natured goofing.
I think I was the only one that didn't put that dildo in my mouth that night.
Everybody said that, like when those pictures resurfaced, but I know I would never have done such a thing if everybody else was sucking on that thing before me. I never would have done that.
I remember seeing other people do it.
Then I must have washed it.
I don't think you did.
I never would have done that, no matter how much I drank.
Grabbed a hold of it.
As much as I would want to, I don't think I did.
I think you did.
Okay, well... Luckily, that was pre-cell phone video, really.
Well, it was at the very beginning.
That was like a flip phone, 2 megapixel.
If anybody's got any flip phones of that.
That was great. Those were better times, weren't they?
Yeah. Yes, much better.
We were the last generation, if you will, to know what it was like pre-internet, pre-social media, pre-shit show. Fake lives on the internet, but you're really miserable. Posting all your fun shit, making everybody else jealous. Trying to anyways.
Yeah, we were.
Yep.
I'm like the tail end of, Gen X.
Yeah.
And you're the start of what?
I don't even know. What is that? Millennial?
Millennial?
Yeah, I guess I would be a millennial.
Yeah.
Born in 84. Is that a millennial?
Yeah.
Which I don't know what does that mean? What is that?
It's just a different generation.
When did that start?
But I really I'm grandfathering you in.
I appreciate that
because of your movie knowledge.
I like that,
which doesn't exist now. Nobody cares about movies anymore.
I was talking with this guy at work, and we were talking about the movie Forrest Gump, and then somehow we got on to like Forrest Gump, for example. What generation would he be in?
Somebody that was born around
Forrest Gump, let's say specifically.
Which was what, early 90s?
No, like
mid-90s?
Because I see say, no, he's Gen X, and I'm like, no, I think Forrest Gump would be Gen A. All right, let's keep her going, huh? If you want to rewind, feel free.
It was, Wow.
I read that on social media somewhere, I think. Go ahead, though. What were you going to say?
Nothing. Absolutely.
We just want to call it here? Want to call this an episode?
That's it. We're done.
All right.
See you in 6 months.
I got more of those jokes coming.
Or 10
They're
months.
planned. They're written down.
Last episode was July?
July,
Wow.
I think. Maybe June.
June, July.
Yeah. And, we didn't really have a specific topic. We were going to do weather control. We still are.
Yeah, that was what this one was going to be, but now it's a podcast free day.
We were going to do...
We're going to talk about some fun stuff, though. Don't you worry.
like current events and whatnot. We'll have a better title, though, than Totally Aimless. We'll think of something.
Didn't seem to really take off.
Didn't resonate.
Yeah, you got to have a title that really catches people.
We'll figure something out.
Something that really tells them what you're talking about, which that one doesn't do any of that.
We were going to do... I'm just going to say what we were going to do. The election special. We were going to call it Electile Dysfunction.
Maybe we can call this that, just because...
Okay. I like it.
Are we going to talk about the election at all? You don't keep up with that stuff, though,
Well,
so, there's no really,
I kind of kept up with this one more than I usually do, I think, because it was such a, crazy, weird one. Let me ask you this, Josh.
Okay.
If you were a female, okay? I don't want to bring up gender, but if you were a female and first woman president, you were all stoked about it and excited about it, would you have been happy with how Kamala got in there? Because I would have been like, that doesn't count. I don't want that. I want one that was like, we chose, quote, we chose to get in there. Not just one that was just, by default almost.
happen to be there.
Yeah.
So what's your question again?
Would you be upset as a woman who would want that to happen? A historic moment. Finally, a woman is in there.
Right.
Would you have been happy with old Harris?
Oh, they seem to be.
You think?
I mean, everybody that was voting that way seemed to be.
And I guess that's what I don't get, because I wouldn't be. I would be a little bummed out.
They're just voting their party, I guess, so it doesn't really matter.
I think that's all it comes down to. You got to stick with your team.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And, I don't... and there's a few people that, that I read and listen to that also don't believe in all this. They think it's just a charade, an elaborate charade, wrestling, as I've mentioned a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know if you actually believe that, though. Do you actually think that this presidency, you have a guy, his administration, they're calling the shots kind of a thing? Do you think that still is how things work in Washington?
I mean, I think that the president is just there to put a face on stuff. They let him do a few little things here, some bigger than others for sure, but
ceremonial, tradition.
Yes, just a front man for the country. He's the one that takes the brunt of all the abuse, and then on to the next one. But really, there's other people in charge.
Let's go a little deeper, right? Yeah, let's talk about this for just a second.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
See, I don't even think that is a big conspiracy. I think that should just be, I think everybody should think that. Voting doesn't really matter. They just kind of let us do it to make us think that we have some say with the shit that's going on.
There's no referendum really for anything in the country. Like you don't get a vote on anything that happens. They don't ask you to, hey, Justin, do you want your taxes to go up to 50% now? So you never get that. You never get that question.
I would vote for that.
Vote no?
I don't understand.
I'm assuming no, right? I
mean, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm going to pay my fair share.
It's pretty close as it is already. We're already getting there. So,
yeah, I don't understand how any of that stuff works. I'm the wrong person to even have a real talk about this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
there's no real point in
I'm not all that informed to begin with.
But let's just say, for example, we're talking about something that everybody knows about that's legal, like lobbying, for example. Right. We have very powerful lobbies in Washington that pay, politicians to vote on things the way they want them to go. So there's that one that everybody knows about, but there's Wall Street, there's very powerful corporations like BlackRock, for example, Larry Fink, Vanguard, that have these massive asset. What's BlackRock's now? $30-40 trillion in asset management.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's one company, right?
Yeah, but they own like a little bit of everything, right? Isn't that their thing? A little bit of everything, not outright everything, but just pieces of every little company.
Yeah, you assume lots of real estate and I'm assuming they gobble up. And I guess when you say asset management, they don't officially own it.
Right.
But it's there's something going on there.
Yeah.
When you sign up with these big companies. And of course you got Wall Street, right? And then you've got see that's the thing about Americans, they just forget. Epstein and all of this, it's just nobody talks about that stuff anymore. So you've got the American and the Israeli and Mossad, all of the intelligence networks and stuff like that have all this blackmail on all these politicians and stuff. I think that maybe more is kind of what's calling the shots, what's forcing these people into their decisions, what makes them do the things they do, and not really so much the person going to the polling station.
Right.
And
it's got to have a huge
and
part.
Social media now too. It's just total propaganda. But people still seem to believe. They still believe in this whole charade.
I know, and I don't understand it. So what I was saying, I don't even think it's a conspiracy. I think it's just common sense that voting doesn't really work. I mean, how could it not be being tampered with? Millions of people all on a computer.
Oh, you're talking about just
the voting system,
voting fraud.
Right.
Just how do I believe that my vote is actually being counted with this whatever?
Yeah,
that's a whole other thing in and of itself.
Yeah, I know. It's just I don't know. I don't trust it.
And that was the last election cycle. That was the big thing, that the election was stolen or whatever. See, I don't even think that it doesn't matter either way.
Right. Did you see those videos that were going around of people in polling stations and it wouldn't let them vote for whatever party? Yeah.
This time?
It was all the guy was supposedly in a polling or a voting booth, whatever, and he's trying to vote for Harris, but it wouldn't. It would just it wouldn't work. But he voted for Trump and it would work.
And who knows if that stuff's even legit?
Well, then it came out that was Russia putting those videos out.
And where do you see this stuff? If we're talking social media here for a second, where do you?
Usually, I'm a reeler. I reel it in quite often, nightly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit of scrolling right before bed. It's good for the brain, I think.
Yeah, but what apps do you use that would?
Instagram. Social media apps, you mean?
Yes, social media apps.
Instagram.
Where
mainly.
Are you consuming this information?
That's it. I'm on Reddit, but it's never for
X.
No, I don't use it. We've been through this. I don't.
You used to be on Twitter, though, right? You were on Twitter years ago
when it first started, and it was pure. Now I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to use it.
You're an old man.
I don't care to know. I don't care to know. See, I don't want to know.
It doesn't matter. It's these everybody's been funneled into these social media apps, so everything's happening there.
What's your go-to?
It could be
if you went on your screen time and you saw what was your most used social media, would you guess?
I mean, I use X quite a bit.
So when you go on there,
I started using it before Elon purchased it, and he didn't actually purchase it. Investors purchased it, but I see people say that all the time, he bought X, and investors, it was $44 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
The correct thing to say is
let that sink in. Do you remember that?
I don't.
When he walked out, he was giving some kind of a speech about owning X, and he's like, let that sink in, and he was holding a literal kitchen sink. He was trying to be goofy.
Okay, yeah. I see, yeah.
He wants to be funny so bad.
Well, he's a defense contractor.
He just can't do it,
He's a defense contractor, so.
But I mean,
that's
you're anti just billionaires across the board.
Yeah.
You don't like Elon Musk.
No.
I'm a huge fan.
Good. That's
big
good,
fan.
Good that one of us is a fan.
I just want him to know if he hears this.
I mean, our episodes, everything's. I think we're shadow banned anyway. We've had 140 followers on Instagram, on our Instagram account for the past 4 years. It's never grown.
Did you see that video that Trump put out? His day one in office, he's going to sign in to emergency, whatever the hell. It's going to be something that's...
executive order.
There you go. Executive order, all kinds of stuff like that. If you get shadowing, you got to be notified and reason why before it happens and a right to plea your case, all that shit.
With social media companies or one in particular?
Social media in general.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
Him and Elon. And then you got RFK joining the... Oh, it's going to be a good team up in there.
See, that's got everybody, really stoked, and it's so silly.
It really is. It's like the Hulk Hogan joining the NWO kind of thing. You're right.
It's wrestling. Mm-hmm. And now it actually is. Now they're actually putting wrestlers out there. And
that's true. Yeah, Hogan was there. I forgot about it. Yeah.
It's a farce. And I don't understand how people can't see this. That's where I'm at. It's a farce. This is a big show, a production.
It's gotten ridiculous.
That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
And nobody seems to see that. Okay, so there's a new administration coming in, right? Where everybody's all either happy or whatever about but also it's going to be the same people in Washington. Ultimately, same lobbies, same corporations, same billionaires, same Wall Street. A lot of the same people are still going to be there calling the shots, okay? And so nothing really changes. I don't know, nobody seems to notice one administration does a lot of shitty things, and this is a pattern you can kind of see throughout history. One administration will do a lot of really shitty things, and then where everybody's really sad, the economy tanks.
Yeah, I did that.
Illegal immigrants, for example, illegal immigration, bringing all these people in.
Yeah.
And then, new administration. They're going to fix all the problems.
Saviors.
The same government just created. And yet people think, I don't know if these are bot accounts or what these are, that I'm assuming that most of them are. And I would have to assume also that the AI is going to be getting really good. I saw something recently, in fact, where they were talking about people were already arguing with bots on social media. They're just totally arguing with a bot.
They have no idea that it's a pointless argument.
Right.
Yeah. And the AI is always going to have a better response.
Yeah.
And it could go forever.
And it's going to know everything you don't know, but as if it matters anyway. But people need to know that's the point of social media anyway, from the get-go. They've just, over the decades since it's been created, they've just slowly been bringing us into it. And now,
just to get us all at each other, you're saying?
It creates bickering? It creates that sort of an issue, but at the same time, nobody's doing anything. It's your slacktivism you're always talking about.
Yeah.
What are people posting memes on Facebook or some shit, right? So it's you're not actually doing anything anymore to voice your opinion. Nobody's... And this was... I want to get it... I guess we could probably... Here's the problem. All right?
Okay.
Here's the problem.
Okay? I love it.
This is... I told you... Remember I texted you that one day? I said I was ranting to myself. And I said, God, I wish we were doing it right now, the episode, because I got a good one.
Yeah.
I don't have all that still. I was really fired up that day. But what I do have is the basic gist of what I was thinking.
Okay.
Which was that Americans, aside from the fact they're really stupid and sort of flaky and, and I'm one of them, they need to lose hope. And I mean really lose hope. And they haven't lost hope yet. You still got your job. You still got your home. Some people do. You can still do stuff, take a vacation every once in a while. This is not the kind of environment that really creates change.
This is what I've been saying. And back in my younger days, I really did mean it. We need a complete breakdown of society, and we need a World War III perhaps to reset,
You've said this before?
Yeah. I always thought it'd be kind of cool to live through the apocalypse and,
Thunderdome?
But now...
Right.
I'm older. My shoulder hurts. My knees, I had to have x-rays on my knee. It's not going to be fun. I'm on medication that I need now. It's not going to be fun anymore. But I do still agree with my original statement. That
because you don't have youth on your side.
Yes. But it's going to take a full-on crumbling of what we have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And 9/11, I think, gave a little bit of that. we kind of all came together there for a little bit after. But granted, there was not social media, so everybody could argue about it immediately in the moment. But you know what I'm saying? Like back, everybody had their little flag, and everybody was like, "Yeah, America fucking rules.
Let's go kick some ass.
Yeah,
let's go to Afghanistan for some reason."
Yeah. We were all friendly to each other for a little bit,
and
but I guess, as I was saying that,
which there was nobody on the planes.
Yeah,
that was from those countries.
It's a hologram.
The hell were we in Afghanistan for? Anybody know? Anybody? No, nobody knows.
It's where the bad guy lived.
Yeah, in a cave.
Yep.
That was all a farce.
You think?
Of course.
So do you think it was all 100% an inside job?
When I say inside job,
like thermite paint, like crews were in there.
I can't go that far.
Okay.
I don't know. But I can go as far to say that it was not an inside job in the sense that you just let something happen, whatever that is. In terms of like false flag and things like that, where they totally just fabricate things to start wars. We could talk about October 7th, which is the whole genocide that's taking place over in Gaza. You've been keeping up with that at all?
I mean, when we first talked about it, I kind of was, and I quickly, this is going to sound really bad, I quickly lost interest because it seems like I didn't know anything changed. I thought that was still going.
It is still going.
No, I mean,
they're in Lebanon now.
From before.
Right. Well, yeah, for the past, you mean 2,000 years.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think anything was different. Like, but yeah. the whole.
I think they've killed about 100,000 people now, I think is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not.
50,000 kids?
Awful. It's horrible. It shouldn't be happening. But go ahead.
No, I think this article is from last year, but like did you see drone footage or some pictures of the cars that were at that music event? It was like a rave or something that was taking place. You see all those cars that were destroyed? I posted this on our Instagram the other day just because I'd read this article about it. When the Hamas, there's always some, bad guy, Hamas or Hezbollah.
I was just going to say that. You beat me to it.
Or ISIS. There's always some, mysterious, dark, Muslim bad guy that they're fighting or whatever. But when they came across, to my knowledge, most people's understanding, they had AK-47s and some RPGs. But you look at a picture of those cars or some of the drone footage, and there's like 800 cars or something that were just blown to pieces. Okay?
800?
Hundreds of them. Hundreds of cars.
Huh.
If you go on our Instagram, you can check those pictures out, or you can go on the internet.
What is our Instagram?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Terribly Vexed Podcast something. Yeah, I think.
I was just goofing.
Me too. Yeah, so you go on there and you look at that, and you just read up, because I included something that I didn't even know about until recently when I read this thing. It was called the Hannibal Directive. You ever heard of that?
No.
I'll give you the real quick rundown, the definition of it. Translated as Hannibal Procedure, Hannibal Protocol is the name of a controversial procedure used by the Israeli Defense Forces to prevent the capture of Israeli soldiers by enemy forces. So basically what happens is if they see that their soldiers or military personnel getting captured by bad guy, whoever they come up with at the time, they kill everybody. And basically what they did that day was kill anybody that was moving down there. So all those cars that were blown up, these were people trying to escape, So
it's the kill them all, let God sort them out method.
Just kill them all.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
And hope they can cover it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people testified that some of the, I guess, hostages that were released or whatever, that they talked to the media, they said that they were being fired upon the whole time by Israeli helicopters. So those were blown up by Israeli helicopters and not by the Hamas bad guys that came across in like hang gliders and shit that day. I just thought that was an interesting thing. I'd never heard of that. The Hannibal Protocol or the Hannibal Directive.
I love these names that they have going on here,
I'm trying to think. It says here when this whole thing started. It was introduced in 1986 after a number of abductions of IDF soldiers in Lebanon and subsequent controversial prisoner exchanges. So they just said, basically, we're going to kill everybody if we have the opportunity. And so a lot of those people, a lot of the people that were at the rave or whatever, the Israeli citizens, were killed by their own government.
Yeah.
In the process.
Damn.
People should be troubled by that, I think. Point is, governments don't really give a shit about their people.
Now, is this the kind of thing where, I mean, I don't want to be this guy every time, but
right.
there is like that necessary
collateral damage.
Yes. Like, is that what would you throw that in there?
I would say,
because, I mean,
this is what I would say. They've been wanting to blow the shit out of Gaza for a long time and get rid of all those people there.
Yeah.
It's that last, you got that, and you got like the West Bank up on the north side or whatever. And they've got this, this little, what they call an open air prison, which they're watching at all times. They've been wanting to get all those people out of Gaza anyway. And of course now it's been bombed almost entirely to total destruction. Like you've seen pictures of it.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's gone, basically. I would say that October 7th was, an excuse to finally do that. Yeah, and so it doesn't matter who they kill. It's not just that term. I guess really doesn't apply. Like collateral damage. That implies that we're concerned about the people that we're killing. Unfortunately, we killed some of our citizens.
It had to be done.
It had to be done.
And
this was unfortunate. But I would say in this instance, or any instance for that matter, that they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So they were going to do it anyway. I would say it was probably better for them because then they could just say, well, look at all the people that Hamas killed that day.
Right.
When in actuality, they were bombing the shit with those helicopters and killing a lot of their own citizens. Because the idea that these guys came across the prison wall anyway and were just able to run amok for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And Israel had no clue what was going on. Total bullshit. And so a good portion of your new administration, Trump's people, which people have been noting, hardcore Zionists, which is apparently an anti-Semitic word now.
It is.
Yeah, which means this episode's going to get...
So you're not listening to this on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to be listening to this episode on YouTube.
Yeah.
We've been kicked off twice now for just making jokes about vaccine.
Yeah. Oh, here we go again.
Uh-oh, I said it again.
Vaccine. That's it.
Vaccine. That's all you got to say.
Yep.
And Zionism. We're making a distinction here, everybody. That's what I want everybody to know. Because there's plenty of Jewish people protesting this genocide that's taking place over there. What we're talking about is a supremacy organization. Have you ever heard of the World Zionist Congress? That's right, Justin. Secret congresses are being held by billionaires.
You mean?
Sure.
No, I never have.
Well, we won't get into it this episode, but just know that these little meetings, like Bilderberg type meetings. I think they're talking about baseball when they're having these little meetings in Zurich.
Can I ask a question?
No, Justin, they're not.
Like, okay, so people listening right now.
Yeah.
Is it possible they're hearing what you're saying and they're like, "Oh boy, what's he about to say here?" Like, are you treading on a
I don't think so.
Tightrope here? Or, okay, all right, treading on a tightrope.
No, I don't know what that means, but
yeah, I think you get the gist of it.
Yeah,
right off the gate.
Right off the gate
on a tightrope. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems.
Well, I would just encourage everyone to read their history books. I mean, hell, they've got Wikipedia pages on this. You can see pictures from the early part of the 20th century.
You know what's funny about Wikipedia is like people use it.
It's a good starting point.
It's a great starting point.
Yeah.
But if it has something on it that somebody doesn't like, they always go, anybody can edit that. But they trust it any other time when it's something that they want. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I guess it depends on,
It's easily put downable by anybody, just by saying anybody can go in there and edit that.
Can anybody go in and edit that?
Yeah, that's the whole, yeah.
Well, then, I've just heard Graham Hancock, for example, he's complained about it. They put pseudoscientist on his, biography part of his page, and If anybody can change it, why wouldn't he just go in there and change it?
I don't know. I think maybe he doesn't know.
He does. That's why he complains.
Graham Hancock's a fucking idiot, though. No, I'm saying
hey, we don't agree with everything he said. I don't ever agree with everything everybody said.
Man, Josh, out here in the quiet of the desert where the stories come alive, have you ever wondered what really prowls under the moonlight?
You're not talking about them, are you? The skinwalkers?
Exactly. They're shapeshifters, part mystery, part legend, just like the timeless allure of Camel cigarettes.
Wait, are you saying skinwalkers smoke Camel cigarettes?
Think about it. If you're shifting from wolf to man under a full moon, you'd want something smooth, dependable, and satisfying to wind down with.
You might be onto something. Camels have that unmistakable flavor, a legend in their own right. It's no wonder they've been around since 1913.
And just like those desert stories, they never get old. Camels are for those who appreciate the mysterious, the bold, and the unforgettable.
Whether you're chasing legends or just the perfect moment, a camel is always the right choice.
Camel cigarettes. Smooth, timeless, and a little untamed. Just like the desert night.
But if you hear footsteps behind you, maybe it's time to light up and look over your shoulder.
Camel, where legends find their smooth.
And mysteries find their spark. With everything everybody says, but, well, there's a couple people that are, they're on it.
Right. But I'm saying maybe he doesn't know you can go in there. And then perhaps I am wrong, and Wikipedia is no longer editable by just anybody. It used to be, though. That used to be the thing. You go in there and change stuff, and it'd be funny,
I don't think that's the case now.
Okay, maybe it's not. It used to be.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
I've never done it. Never wanted to do it. Never cared enough to do it.
Right?
So
Why would you?
I don't know if
I think they have
not.
people. I think they have a staff of people that go in there and update.
Yeah, probably now. That might have been in its early days. Its infancy, if you will.
Right, when it first started.
Yeah.
Again, good place to start in your research. You can get quick answers to things, but not, it's not in depth by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Most things, but
very lovely for a rabbit hole click session.
Yeah.
A lot of links in there, hot links.
And of course, you're talking about things that are hot topics nowadays.
Yeah.
You can always find historical stuff in there. Is a good place to start too. Things you can trust. It's a resource.
You find it there, verify somewhere else.
So anyway, yeah, no, I don't think that's. You see that a lot now. That's really becoming more prevalent. People are being made aware of it. Namely because like every time our president has like a press conference, anytime a president actually speaks, Biden notwithstanding, he rarely talks to the press or whatever, but
it's weird how he just disappeared, isn't it?
Oftentimes you'll see them standing with two flags behind them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice that?
Yeah.
You'll see the American flag, which you should see because this is the United States of America.
Right.
And then you'll see another flag back there.
Which one's that?
What flag is that, Justin? Yeah.
I don't want to say it.
Say it.
Nope.
Say it.
I'm not sure if I have the right answer.
Well, let's see what you got.
What were you going to say?
What were you going to say?
The blue one with the eagle on it.
Eagle?
With the seal of the President of the United States. Are you talking about
the Israeli
the one
flag?
That has the
that's
star
right.
on it?
The Israeli flag.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
You'll see that. I've already seen several times Trump talking about why is that? Why are we like if you're in Norway and you see like a prime minister, maybe like over in Norway or whatever, they have a president, and you see him stand in front of their flag. Do you see an Israeli flag back there, Justin?
No.
Or if you take a little trip to Argentina, you see the Argentinian, of course, they've got their own problems, but you see the Argentinian prime minister standing there with the Argentinian flag behind him.
Uh-huh.
You see an Israeli flag standing back
I
there?
don't think so.
Why do we have them here? That's that's what we're all kind of concerned with, I think, people. Americans, in large part.
Yeah, it is odd. For sure.
Yeah.
Do you think
why are people in North Carolina still really screwed over and have no place to live? And why are they getting no resources still to this point? Because, the budget is just not there. It's just not there to help them out. I was just watching this reporters over there right now. What have we been, 6 weeks into after post-Helene. And yet they always seem to find money to go overseas.
We got to help them out.
Right. Why is that?
They're friends.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Is it a two-way street, this friendship?
It seems one-sided, but I don't know.
It does, doesn't it?
But I told you.
It seems like
I'm not the right person to talk about this, but it doesn't seem like.
I know, that's why we shouldn't, because really it's fun to talk about, though.
Do you think we should just cease all assistance to the outside?
Absolutely.
You want to just wall up and make America great again, and then worry about other stuff?
Well, that's not my thing. That make America great again. That's
But
that's
that's
a tagline. That's for boomers, and it's harkening back to like when they thought there was like a golden era, like Reagan or some shit.
Yeah. I saw a funny take on a MAGA hat. I think this fits in the conversation right here. I don't know. Are you familiar with Adriana Chechik?
No.
American pornographic actress?
I am not.
Well,
Right answer by me.
Yeah. The wink after that. But there's a hat. It said it was MAGA, make Adriana gape again. I thought that was pretty humorous. You get it. There's people out there laughing.
I think so.
Yeah. No, but so you think we really should just focus on internal issues first?
I think
I think we should.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's part of it, but beyond that, there's so much corruption now. I honestly think, I'm just going to throw this little idea out there. I think the entire thing should be burned to the foundation and rebuilt.
Yeah.
We're about to celebrate our 250th year, the United States.
Do you want to be alive for that, though, or do you want to die in the initial blast or whatever it may be that causes the crumbling?
Well, I think the crumbling should start with the people, but the people are asleep. They're asleep, Justin. Yeah. That's what I was talking about, losing hope.
This is like the classic line from the movie V for Vendetta. People should not fear their governments. Governments should fear their people, right?
Correct. I think that was one of the founding fathers.
No. That's V from V for Vendetta.
Well, I think they maybe plagiarized.
Oh.
Of course, what was the guy's name? Guy Fawkes or whatever. That happened in what, the 1400s, 1500s? Maybe they picked it up from him.
Perhaps.
No, it's everybody's got to lose hope.
Yeah.
And real action needs to be taken. Not just making, sassy comments on X or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
It's doing nothing.
Some of them are very humorous, but they don't.
Voting does nothing.
What about local? People will say that, you should vote for the local, though. That's where it makes a difference.
Perhaps to some degree, but again, property taxes and things like that just keep going up, don't they? You don't have any vote on that. I mean, ideally, you would want to... originally the U.S. was supposed to be like very, very small federal government. You can see that this is not... They've not kept up with that. Really kind of changed after the Civil War, The massive, overarching federal government really sort of, established itself post-Civil War. So it's really supposed to be about like states' rights. States are still like to be their own little autonomous little things, calling their own shots, doing their own thing, and it's not the case.
Doesn't seem like it.
No, they have no say.
Where it counts, especially.
When the federal government comes in, they have no say. Like states and cities should have the right to say, no, we don't want this or we don't want that,
Yeah. But then at the same time, are we asking too much?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Like any other country.
This is what it should be.
It's not going to work that way, but you guys still want it. But you guys are idiots.
We are idiots?
Yeah. You got other countries that are going great, completely different system. And they're like,
maybe they don't have
idiots.
A parasitic sort of relationship with a certain country that's stealing all of its citizens' money and sending it elsewhere.
I think I see where you're going with this. Does this go back to the flag?
It'd be nice if we actually had some, people that were concerned about what's going on in the United States as opposed to
Isn't that? And I'm not saying this to be is that not what Trump is trying to say? Wasn't that his whole thing? Like,
that's what he says.
Right,
yes.
Right.
I like to just point out the difference between what they say versus what they do.
I'm not saying I believe it or anything. I'm just saying, isn't that his whole thing? It's like he's trying to work on us before anybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
And, I have no doubt that perhaps maybe some of the problems they've created, right? The same government, different administration, same government, has created in the previous 4 years. They'll probably try to undo some of that to make the people happy. Because you have to remember, too, like, I guess the good portion of the people, how many people voted? What did they say? 70-something million for Trump, 60, 70 million for her. Remember, there was, over 100 million people that didn't vote.
Yeah.
That's if you trust those numbers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people that don't give a shit for their whatever reason, or just don't care, or don't... Like, I've gone about this long time of decades of reading all this stuff, history, conspiracy, whatever, to come to the conclusion that voting doesn't matter. And you just don't do it because you don't give a shit. So there's like different trains of thought there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But I don't give a shit because I don't think it matters.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of went the other way.
Right. We arrived at the same conclusion.
Same conclusion.
But mine was just mainly just fuck it attitude.
Right.
From the start.
And so now I'm here too. I've talked to other people that are the same way,
Yeah. Do you think it would make...
There's people under the delusion, though, that Trump is different. Yeah. He's going to... Remember that whole drain the swamp thing?
Yeah.
Did that ever happen?
I don't think so.
No.
He had 4 years.
Yeah. Didn't happen. Didn't drain the swamp, did he?
It sounds cool to say, though.
Remember QAnon? Yeah. What was that all about? Oh, all the generals are getting together with Trump and they're going to arrest pedophiles? That ever happen? There's some crazy shit out there. That's the thing, too. The social media has just been saturated with so much useless, dumb shit. People don't even... I mean, I hear people talking. Okay? I hear people talking at work and stuff, I listen. I'm hearing this stuff. They're talking about some crazy shit, man. And here we are with a conspiracy podcast. Yeah. I've been reading this stuff for a long time. I'm not talking about the wackadoo crazy stuff where this whole podcast started. We're going to talk about Bigfoot, but then we're also going to talk about your Operation Condors, your Operation Phoenix, your USS Liberties, things like that.
You familiar? Go ahead. Sorry. What were you going to do?
A lot of new people in the conspiracy world that's kind of, they like to think they were, they woke up when COVID happened. And so,
that's...
Most of all these people, it all revolves around Trump, which I find hilarious.
That's when it all started with them. Trump got in and riled things up a little bit, changed it.
Yeah, and the COVID
from the
thing.
Inside.
The COVID thing started with him and his administration and stuff, but people have just so quickly forgotten everything else. And so, I think the waters have really gotten muddied with all the nonsense because there's a lot of nonsense, man. It's the Roman circus, man.
That's what it's all about. It's pure, just garbage for the most part on the internet. You're talking about just
social media.
Yeah. I don't even know what the fuck word I'm trying to look for. It's 95% of it is trash.
Yes.
Yeah, your funny dog video.
But in regards to this stuff, it's let's say everybody's a conspiracy theorist now, so that's true. Everybody's got their little take, So everybody's so disjointed, Yeah. It's very easy to control the populace now with social media and things like that. That's kind of what I'm saying. So, but for some reason, magically, everybody thinks Trump is going to do something, even though he never did anything.
Yeah.
And the same government creates the problems that the next administration is going to supposedly fix. And everybody just keeps doing and seeing and repeating the same over and over again, and nobody seems to why am I the only one that's do you all not get it? Do you not see that you're just being played? They're playing you.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Project Bluebeam? There's a new one that I came across. It was,
sounds familiar, but
the Sofa King podcast just did a little episode on it. You're not going to be able to see it now because I'm a Patreon member. I get early access. But anyways, it's about like with this UAP hearing in the news, all these videos coming out, controlling us. There's going to be the theory behind it is they're going to slowly drip feed us that kind of stuff, the alien stuff. All these organizations coming in that's going to be our savior. There's going to be a alien invasion, fake, of course. That's going to get us all on the government side, and we're all going to rally behind the government to save us. And then they will destroy the alien threat, and then the government's the hero again. That's nice. The very quick version of it.
Summation of
what's... That's Project Blue. That's a whole
you were talking
conspiracy
about
theory.
The hearing. There was a hearing
recently. There's another UAP hearing. Alessandro was there, all the major guys. But again, I don't think much came of it. Just the same shit. There's one cool video of one getting hit by a missile. Did you see that?
Was that there's an airplane that was... I saw one video of an airplane, something flying around it. They're talking about these things that can go like Mach 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Mach fuck, if you're on the internet and see these things. Yeah. No, there's video. There's these two little orbs flying around, and you see this missile, like it plows through both of them, and there's little explosions, and then the explosion dissipates, and then those two things are still just sitting there like nothing. And that was released by the military. That's not like just some guy, that's like Pentagon released footage, like the Fravor video. But this thing is just, it's taking a missile like it's nothing. Like, so that as far as I know, is really all that came out of that hearing. Granted, I didn't watch it. I was working, and nothing's happening still. But it's just more of the same stuff. Stronger than ever.
You get the vibe that this is just a bunch of bullshit.
God damn it! I don't want to think that though.
Because you're the alien guy.
I want to believe so bad. I want
to believe.
I want it, but
now you've got the government just showing you videos and having hearings and talking about it all the time. When for the past 70 years,
you got that one
tight-lipped about everything.
Got that guy talking about biologics that they have, at least 50 of them in cryogenic storage.
See, to me, all this stuff just feels like nonsense. But
why would it be though?
Because it keeps people occupied. It's entertainment. Just like Netflix.
But why?
It's entertainment.
But why is it not even a possibility in your mind?
I mean, it could be a possibility. Sure.
Do you think there's something crashed at Roswell?
But what I'm referring to specifically is the willingness to admit to all of this stuff all of a sudden, just within the past few years. It seems like a little...
So you won't even say something crap. You're fighting it. You're fighting it tooth and nail.
All this stuff that they're admitting to now, and all these things that they're...
Just all of it. Just all of it in general. You don't believe in any of it whatsoever?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I would say that I don't know. But I'm talking about the government bringing it up and having hearings and admitting to stuff right now is what I'm referring to. Admission is not something the government does in any way, shape, or form.
I think all they're admitting to is that there are things there we don't know what they are.
I know.
They're not saying they're aliens.
For 70 years, they are more. They've never done any of that. So
I think it's hard to argue with it now. Everybody's got video cameras. I know people say if everybody's got a video camera, want better footage, but you ever take a picture of a plane with your phone?
No.
It sucks. It's impossible.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
35,000
that argument sucks. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think, is it not possible that because there's so much proof out there that they can't control, that they have to start admitting it a little bit? Whereas in the 50s, you could just deny it, not even bring it up.
I mean, yeah, that is a valid point of view.
Okay. That's all I wanted to hear from you.
That's a valid viewpoint.
All right.
Could be.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You know how I feel about it. I want it, but I'm still skeptical myself.
Spectacle.
Yeah.
As you should be.
Yeah.
About everything. Because now I'm just like, everything's like, gosh, I don't want to get into any of the wacky stuff that people are talking about specifically, but there's just so much nonsense that has everybody kind of, occupied.
Yeah, I mean, it's all it seems like it has been the past 8 years.
Is conspiracy stuff.
Yeah. I guess maybe since 9/11.
Yeah.
The whole thing came out, and then, I don't know. Like, that's when it really was like, it really took off, the whole conspiracy thing. It started there really hard, and then from there, bam. Now everything's a fucking conspiracy.
Yeah, moon landings, flat Earth.
Yeah.
I mean,
both of those I don't think are, but
that's why I didn't want to specific, right? Because I don't want to offend anyone here.
Yep. Hollow Earth, flat Earth,
which we've covered ourselves.
It's surprising to me that Hollow Earth is still one of the top episodes we did. It's crazy. After your real ones, the top one is Hollow Earth.
Yeah, people see. That's my point. They don't want to know about anything that's really taking place.
Yeah.
So our little mission when we first started this podcast was actually another thing I was going to talk about. I'm so drained, really, of all this stuff now. I'm so sad. Justin.
I mean, you've been sad for you. I had that video. Can I plug that the Angry Josh?
No, we better not.
All right.
Just like you hear people talking, like I was, you hear these conversations, people, and it's just like they haven't looked into anything. They haven't looked into anything, and you're listening to them talk, and you're like, God, Jesus, we're so fucked. We just are.
You got people that are on that have a radio show, let's say, for example, and they tell their opinions, and then people are fans of them, and then they just start saying the same points they did, but then as soon as they're asked a question, they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm just repeating what that guy said. I have no further information on it. And I've done that. I've 100% done that.
You mean just like plagiarized what you've heard?
I think a guy made a good point, so I'm like, yeah, and then I repeat it, and they're like, well,
I agree with that.
What are you talking about? What about this, that, and that, though? And I don't know. Huh? Sorry, I gotta go do this real quick. I can't talk anymore.
Gotta go.
Yeah, I've done that occasionally, and I don't like it, so I try not to do it.
Yeah. It's anyway, the presidency is it's a joke. It's the election.
Yeah.
The selection. It's not even that anymore. Used to think, wow, they picked this guy and they put him in place. And now I don't even think that's the case anymore. It's such a fucking ridiculous show now that that doesn't even matter. That doesn't even apply. It's just absurd.
Do you think a third party will ever be elected?
No, there's no parties anyway, so.
I mean, you don't think like the people, if voting really mattered and people got together.
It doesn't.
They actually, well, I know it doesn't.
They're not going to.
Just flat out, it never will happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the corruption's so great now. There's organized crime at all levels. The whole thing would have to be just burned to the ground and started over.
Rebuild.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people I listen to. They like to advocate community, local community.
Yep. That's all you can do, I guess.
It's any sort of level you can actually control. It all has to be, down to a very local level of things.
Yeah.
Because you have no say in what's happening in Washington if you're an American. And it's a problem. And it's corporations. It's Wall Street. It's billionaires. Names you'll never hear. People you'll never know.
You think the only way to fix it is a full restart? Like the only way? You don't think at this point we're too far gone?
Secession.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every state becomes its own little country. This is what I advocate for. Well, Tennessee becomes a country of its own.
I know you've been saying that for a while.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Would you help build the wall around Tennessee?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. No. Had a lot of
no more outsiders.
From where specifically?
I'm an isolationist. I don't know if you.
I know. You got problems with a very specific.
That's a term for you. People need to get black-pilled. You ever heard that one? There's red pilled where you're like, I'm woke now. Everybody's, I'm woke. I'm awake to there's woke and then there's awake. This is black pilled. What's red pilled, black pilled. That's where you've lost all hope.
It's just done.
You're done.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's
not bad. I like that third option. I think that's where most people are.
Well, that's where a lot of people are.
Yeah.
And now there needs to be action taken. But people are so divided, you know?
Yeah.
They're really, with the social media and things like that, they're really good at keeping people divided. And there's like the false sense of hope, which is what the Trump presidency for one half of the country. Because like my folks, man, they're happy. They're so happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, my dad's stoked.
Oh, yeah.
He called me the next morning. I already got 10 grand.
Why?
How the hell is that? He's not even really in there yet. What's the deal?
Their Lord and Savior has returned.
Yeah.
It's that whole Savior complex, you know. It's like this person's going to save us. That's the problem with Americans too. They think a person's going to come in and fix all their problems.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen. They don't care about you. They hate you.
I heard Elon say that on Joe Rogan, that this is our last chance for democracy.
He's totally selling this bullshit too. But again, he's a defense contractor. He works for the government. I
mean,
that's what Starlink is, you know, things like that. That's all.
It's just free internet for the people.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Not free.
Well.
And then, you know, when he does swoop in, like in, there's a, you know, catastrophe, disaster, like in North Carolina and stuff like that, when he donated all of the Starlinks or whatever, you know, everybody loves him again, you see?
Yeah.
Loves him even more.
Didn't he volunteer to bring like a little submarine or something to go help those kids that were stuck in that cave?
I don't know.
I feel like there was something
stuck in a cave.
Yeah, in Chile. Remember they made a whole movie about it. They had to dive, get him out, and everything. He had a whole plan to get him out, and they just told him no. I think I might have two things mixed up, but they were just like, no, we got it. Don't worry. Don't send your mini sub to go diving through a cave, which doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense, but.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I read that. Perhaps it was an Onion article that I read that I didn't realize, but it was. It was something. He had some kind of a plan to get those kids out.
Older now, you can be easily fooled.
Yeah. Yep. Tricked.
But like when I'm talking to you about this kind of stuff, and I'm looking at it from this real sort of pessimistic sort of viewpoint, and I say it's all a farce, it's all a sham, this is all fake. You have no choice. They're going to keep stealing your money. It's a wealth transfer. Remember Epstein? Remember sexual blackmail? All this stuff that nobody's now talking about. Nobody gives a shit about anymore.
How you feel about Diddy?
And it's all still in place. It's all still happening.
Yeah.
These things are still happening everywhere.
Yeah.
And the corruption's still there. Do you feel like I'm just a lunatic when I'm telling you these things? Do you still think that there's actual voting going on? And
I do. The way you looked at me and said lunatic a little bit, but in as a whole, no, I don't. I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah, voting's a sham. Yeah, totally. I've thought that since I was a youngster. Like I never.
Yeah, I've only voted once. So yeah.
For who? If you don't mind me asking, I know it's a very personal question, but.
Jeez, I don't even remember at this point. Who the hell?
Like a president?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who the hell does local stuff?
I know some people. They're all about it. And I don't know. I don't even know where to go to do that. I guess the library, right? Is that where you vote? I don't fucking know.
Well, sometimes they have them at schools. Yeah. They set up these things in a library. Probably too.
Yeah, that's where I did it. That's the only reason I said that. When I voted my one time, it was
that's
at the
probably
library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, what are you gonna do, huh? That's how I sum up almost everything when I start thinking about this kind of stuff. What are you gonna do? Because what can you do? Nothing.
I see people like on X and things like that. Whitney Webb, I've brought up several times. She wrote that 1,000-page book on the whole Epstein affair, which covers a lot more than just Epstein, but. She did a good episode of her podcast recently with James Corbett, the Corbett Report guy. He's been in this for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
And he got kicked off YouTube. He basically just has everything on his own website. And they talk about some of this stuff in that recent episode of her Unlimited Hangout podcast that I would direct people to. I think they're, it's about being realistic about this. Like, how can you believe this spectacle? How can you believe this nonsense? That this is real, that this is how things are working, It's like the Roman circus, it's the Colosseum, it's entertain the peasants, entertain the dummies, put all this stuff in front of them to keep their attention.
Do you think the assassination attempt on Trump kind of helped him big time? Like, do you think that kind of, made him a bit of a
photographer right there waiting below to get that cool picture?
It's love him or hate him. That's a great picture.
Right.
Can't deny that.
It was perfect, wasn't it?
It was.
Picture?
Yeah, oddly perfect. The blood, the flag, the arm.
Throwing his arm up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was great.
Photographer.
Great timing. Right place, right time. Luck.
Photographer is right there below.
Yeah.
All snapping away.
Yeah.
And there's supposedly been a few of them? A few assassination attempts?
I only heard about one other one. It was like a guy in the bushes, like Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
But I don't know about that one. I didn't even hear hardly anything about that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah. Even the first guy, it kind of was like...
It just went away
real
quick, didn't it?
Yeah, we got him. And then that's that.
Yeah. So do you think that was even legit? Or was just some...
I mean, I think it was. I think it was just because it was such a clusterfuck. The whole thing. Like them trying to protect him and him wanting to get his shoes on. And I don't know. It just seemed like everybody... And I think like everybody said, why didn't they just shoot him? I think you can't just start shooting. You have to like get... Like, hey, is that our guy up there on that roof? And then you have to, I don't know, hold on. You just hear this radio. Is there like a chain of, you have to get permission to fire at some point, right? Unless firing's already begun. I'm assuming that's how it works. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think you can just see a guy and just be, I'm going to shoot him real quick.
As I've kind of sort of thought about that whole assassination attempt, what I can say about it is I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I would default to, a lot of times it's more spectacle. It's more show.
Yeah.
But that, that has its problems in and of itself. Could have very easily been somebody actually taking a shot at the guy.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, the result of that was definitely that, and I've heard people say this, he took a bullet for us.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Winged him.
So, and I've said, in probably episodes before and to other people, that's how you know somebody's actually changing things is when they get their head blown off, a little back into the left action.
You have said that.
And then here we had this assassination attempt. So, you use that as just a way to show credibility, to make people think that this is a credible individual and he's going to be, this is just another little production, another elaborate little production. Again, I would say I just don't know what it is. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't believe anything. I don't believe any of this shit.
Yeah. How do you feel about Trump going on like Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn and like doing these hour-long podcasts, and then old Kamala was like, I'll do it, but you got to come to me and only for 30 minutes or whatever the hell it was. It just seems like that really helped him out too, because I saw this video of a bunch of college students saying, they're like, who are you going to vote for? And it was like, but again, it's a video on social media, so who knows? But it was like them saying, I think I'm going to do Trump because I saw him on Theo, and he actually sounded like a normal person. It wasn't all this news footage that was taken out of context. And I kind of like the guy. So people are saying that really helped him out, just going on these long form
definitely.
interviews. And she blew it hard by not.
It's because she's like never really done anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, taking at face value, just talking to people as a vice president, she didn't really do anything. So, and she doesn't really have a career of doing anything.
Yeah. You ever seen that clip of her talking about the coffee cup?
No.
Like about how she's just, doing that thing where she was just laughing about the coffee cup on Starbucks or what. And if you wear lipstick, like, so I said, can we do something about these coffee? But somebody put the Seinfeld music underneath it, the classic. Everybody, they do that with everybody. But, this is very funny. Just some, good old, that's what social media is all about right there. You're having a good laugh.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's why I like it. You know I love a good meme.
Hey, we all do.
Yep.
I get lots of memes sent to me daily from various people.
Me?
And other people, yeah.
Oh.
Guy I worked with is...
Who else?
God almighty.
Who's funnier?
He's got a lot. He's got a lot of memes. It's all he does. We don't even have conversations. He just sends memes.
It's great.
It's what these platforms... I would argue that's what these platforms are to do. That was the point of him going on these... Joe Rogan, obviously, being the most popular.
Yeah.
Podcasting individual.
Yep, definitely helps.
It basically sort of steers people
mm-hmm.
in a certain direction, gets people thinking. It was a good observation. I think it was Whitney Webb that had made this observation. You're pacifying the side of the populace that could actually form militias and actually carries the weapons by Trump winning, because now they think my man's in office.
That is true.
I was thinking that was a good observation, because now, like, anybody that that may have voted for Trump, they're emptying their pistols now.
Oh,
they're putting their guns away.
Stand down.
So you can gauge people, and you can gauge the sort of the vibe and the feeling of the country by social media, because they have these huge data centers that are collecting all this stuff. So you can, no doubt with AI right now, tell exactly what everybody's feeling in mass,
Oh, yeah.
So and everybody uses social media. So everybody's communicating with texts, which, all of these data centers are reading all of this stuff and collecting all this. It's keywords or, things are getting documented and recorded, which is why we'll never be able to go into politics ourselves.
Too late. We blew it.
Conversations. But now the whole half of the country that's the gun-toting Americans that are blah, 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 that think they know what they're doing, their man's in office.
Yeah. Doesn't he have all three? Isn't it the most...
the Republican. Yeah, they've got everything, so...
Yeah. See what happens, huh?
The gun-toting Americans, with the "Don't tread on me" license plates are all calm now. Everybody's relaxed. So you can see how they can kind of play each side,
Yeah.
And as far as the illegal immigration and stuff goes, I mean, half of that truth is that American companies love cheap labor. So you can't get rid of, they may get rid of the actual criminals.
Yeah.
But
it does seem like a massive undertaking.
It is. You've opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
And again, American companies, if they can't get cheap labor here, they'll send the company over to Indonesia or some other place and get the cheap labor there. They don't want to pay Americans what it costs to live in America. So, and if you don't have to pay people health insurance and provide 401ks and retirements and pensions and good salaries and things like that, you just pay them a small hourly wage.
Or get robots in.
That's coming next, right?
Yeah.
That's what that stupid longshoreman strike was about, automation.
Yeah.
It's going that way anyway. It's going to happen. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how could it not? If we have the technology, I mean, it's gonna go. Why would any company?
And that also is probably going to usher in the whole. Again, they create these problems to give you a solution that they ultimately want. So everybody's screaming about illegal immigration and open borders and stuff like that. Well, their answer to it's going to be digital IDs and things like that.
Yeah.
Which there's been quite a few people talking about, but nobody seems to really give a shit. They've just got this vague notion that their guy is in the office now. He's the president. So
yeah, this guy I work with, he was election night, the next morning, he's like, "We did it. Oh, we did it. As soon as that happened, I knew we did it. God,
I hate these fucking people, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have no clue.
I stayed up till 3:30, but I knew we did it, so I finally went to bed.
And now you'll get people wanting that. Oh, it's a great idea. We should all have digital IDs. That'll keep them out, and we can do this and do that. And you'll have these same idiots that are like, freedom.
Yeah.
And then, no, I'll have no problem putting all of my whatever to a digital ID. I mean, it's already difficult to travel now. I mean, it's already like, what was the real ID thing that changed with the licenses,
Yeah. I still haven't done that because I don't travel, but I can imagine it's a hassle. Dude had to go to Puerto Rico, I think, to get for a wedding or whatever. And it was like a month-long process getting that little stamp or whatever the hell it is.
You have to do it on your license. Yeah. And, with passports and other options that they like to get through like the TSA and like different checks and stuff. There's numerous things that you should just be able to do naturally, but you can pay more to get these services so you can travel. Mm-hmm. And they use like retina scans and stuff like that. People should be terrified of this stuff, but now they're going to be welcoming it. Why? Because they've opened the borders and let lots of criminals and stuff in. So you've created this problem, and now you present the solution to the dumbass Americans, and they want it.
Yeah.
And so like that will probably usher in, which is I think people have talked about also, things like X and other social media apps controlling where you can do everything on them, There's no need for actual money anymore, right?
No.
So everything gets tracked digitally. The CBDCs things that we've talked about before, central digital bank currencies and stuff. All that stuff will be tied into basically what they're doing, like I guess in countries like China and stuff, social media scores, 15-minute city things where they kind of keep you in a
it's like that
a fucking prison is like, basically what people are, and they want that here. People are stupid.
You ever watch Black Mirror at all? I know you don't watch new shit,
but Trump's in. That's all that matters.
That's when he's going to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting taxed at half your salary, just part of that wealth transfer thing that I was talking about that continues to happen.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care.
They always have a good reason. Like if it's their guy doing it.
Right.
And they have a good, he had to do it because this and that. They always defend, even though deep down they got to know, like, God damn it.
I don't think so.
You don't think? You don't think even deep down their heart of hearts, you don't think they know?
Not some of the people I know that are hardcore Trumpers, man. They honestly think that he's going to fix it all.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Wise guy I used to work with, he once said, they all fuck you. Some just put sand in the lube. And I like that, It makes sometimes that hurts.
Not quite. It's a little clunky, but
well, maybe I'll work on it. I'll fix it up, and we'll do it the next episode.
Yeah. Look forward to that.
Yeah, I bet. So stay tuned. Next one will be up a couple months from now.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where I stand. It's all a farce. The presidency is a joke. Why do you even have to have a president? You don't. But anyway, that's a whole other.
Sounds better.
And
visually, it looks better, I think, to have one guy in charge.
One guy, one king, one leader of the people.
I heard Stephen Fry talking about how. Forget it. Forget I even brought it up because I don't remember what he said in any detail.
You generally want to know what you're about to talk about when you bring it up.
Forget it. I wouldn't be able to say it in good enough terms. So to hell with it. To hell with it all.
Yeah. I mean, how far would you have to go back before it actually mattered? I don't know. It would definitely be, pre-Civil War, I'm guessing, right?
You think that far?
Oh yeah. It's, because the Federal Reserve came around, 1913 or something like that, and it's been all bankers and that's code bankers for at least 100 years, 120 years at least. So,
all right,
they call the shots, man.
Right. Yep. I don't know what you're talking about. So
that's weird because I was looking at the creation of Israel and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was created in 1948, but there was many years leading up to that creation, stemming a lot from billionaires in the United States. I don't know. It was like known amounts, known figures of money that we've given Israel over the past almost 80 years, 75 years. It's like $400 billion, right? So we can assume if that's the known figure of money that we've given to the country.
Yeah.
I was curious because other countries give Israel money, a lot of other countries, right? I don't know if you knew this or not, but Germany, which would make sense because of World War II and the little things they had going on there.
Little mishap.
Yeah. World War II, they've only given $90 billion. And I say only. But so like Israel's getting $90 billion from Germany, or has gotten $90 billion over the past 75 years. You would have thought that they would have had to have given more because, you know.
You would think so, just to as an apology.
Yeah, Americans went over and, saved them, and Germany sort of killed them.
Yep.
So
they're working on it.
Yeah, I was just curious why. And these were figures that I pulled from ChatGPT, which is good for basic things like that. You know, you can get basic figures and basic
info. Yeah.
Basic known info or whatever. But I was just looking at it too, and there's just a number of countries, Canada, everybody's giving money to them, and it's just, I thought that was kind of strange. We won't answer any of these questions today as to why they're.
I mean, it would take a lot to do that, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A ton of information.
I mean, I could probably answer it right now, but
well, let's not do that. I'll stop recording, then you can go.
Okay. Yeah. But anything else you want to talk about today?
I don't think so. I think we covered it.
You think so?
Yeah.
So we will call this episode the Electile
Dysfunction. Now, do you want... We teased last episode that we were going to do the weather modification. Do you want to tease it again? Because we still have our notes prepped, ready to go for that.
Sure. Let's do that. Let's tease it. And never deliver.
Next episode's weather modification. Stay tuned for that. That's a tease.
May not actually be the next episode.
No, probably not.
There's something to it. Right.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Call this an ep?
I think so.
All right. Well, I guess on that note, do the old wrap up here.
Yeah. Might as well.
Go to Apple Podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe. In that order. Then you go to YouTube, Terribly Vexed Podcast. Instagram, Terribly Vexed Podcast.
It's where you can see episodes that are actually allowed to be on YouTube.
Yeah, this probably won't be there.
This will not be there.
You can go to terriblyvexed.com for everything else. Everything's there. Get in touch with us. Drop us a line.
Yeah.
Check out the Instagram feed, past episodes. That's really about it. That's all we got to offer. So, I guess that'll do it, huh?
Sure.
Until next time?
I think so.
We'll see y'all next year at this rate, right?
Yeah. It's not looking good.
All right. See ya.